Good morning or good afternoon, good evening. I had a lot of interest and buzz about the piggy transformation, stuffed animal transformation I did a while back. And the person I did it for asked if I could do it as like an auction item for a local fundraiser event for a place in my town. And I said, sure. So somebody bid on it and they brought over their son's stuffed animal, and the stuffed animal's name is Blabla. And I asked her for some photos and she sent me this photo, which I'll insert. And this is what he looked like when he was brand new. And I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a challenge. And she said, no, no, no. My son, who's now 20, doesn't want it to go back to the way it used to look. He just wants it patched kind of the way it's been patched over the years. So I am going to patch him. And he is becoming a firefighter. So I have a t-shirt that I'm going to cut up with the logo, and I'll cut that up and put it as one of the patches, and then use socks for the rest of the patches, because this creature is a sock, like a type of a sock monkey stuffed animal, and looked like they used a lot of socks to patch him as he aged. So that's the challenge today, and I'm not trying to make him look brand new at all. I'm just making him survive for another 20 years perhaps, or longer. All right, enjoy. Okay, here's blah blah. So I'm noticing lots of spots that need reattaching, like this sock, and definitely this neck area, and sewing that up. A patch for here. Also this huge spot, and this is where I'm going to put the firefighter emblem, and I'll probably put it over top of this pink section. I'm going to re-sew down this area. Let's see, this one looks okay, because I want to keep a lot of the character. I might sew down the legs a bit. I think this should be okay. I believe this is some of the original material. I'm pretty sure under here is original. Some fading, obviously. Some of the stripes here. It's kind of cool to imagine what he really used to look like. And then maybe, no, this isn't. I'm not sure. Like when you get to the head, like what's going on here, but I think this is original. And maybe pieces from him were taken. This looks like it was sewed shut here, that a hole came and then just sewed it shut. So we'll try to make it a little more secure. Okay, now I'm gonna cover this area, and I'm going to use this sock, part of this sock. I'm not going to use the back. This is where the heel went in, and it looks pretty worn. So I'm not going to use that area. Too stretched out. Okay. We only need like a square like this. Maybe. Okay, there's the patch. I'm gonna zoom out. So there's my patch, and I'm going to put it on his head like that. I think that will work. Maybe I'll put these colors here. Okay, there's the patch. I'm gonna zoom out. So there's my patch, and I'm going to put it on his head like that. I think that will work. Maybe I'll put these colors here. Is it gonna cover it all? Yep. I'm going to put a few pins in, big long guys, just to keep it in place so he doesn't shift around. Okay, so that will be there, and this will cover the whole thing. Okay, so in terms of color, I think I'll pick maroon because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of maroon, only 2 yellows, 2 blues, and 2 light blues. So I'm gonna pick maroon. Is this a good match? Yeah, it's pretty good. Maroon thread. I'm going to double thread it again. Let's see if I can stay in the window this time because, you know, that's what I'm terrible at. Thread it. I took a big long bit of yarn thread this time because I can't cut close to the last one. That's how I tie my knot. Wrap it around my finger, roll it once, and roll a ton till you get a ton of over-unders, and then grab with my fingernail, and then you get a big old knot. Okay. Gonna go under here to hide the knot. And then start making my way around, and I'm gonna go, you know what? We're gonna put another pin here. So I'm gonna do kind of like an hourglass shape for that neck spot. And I'm gonna use some glue, which is not cheating because this washes away and waters. If there's water that gets on it, it'll wash away. So I'm gonna fold these in about like that, right? And that should fit on the neck, maybe like this. I'm gonna iron it down to secure it. And then these curves are gonna have less of a seam allowance so that it should end up making more of like an hourglass shape. I'm gonna put a little glue all the way around. Then I don't have to use those. Well, I'll have to use pins, but I won't have to clip everything to keep it in place, keep it like in the right shape. Oops. Okay. So we'll just finger press everything kind of down. See, these are a much smaller seam allowance here than the other one. And I'll use my iron to kind of really get that glue down. And this will fit his neck better, I feel like. It'll get that curve better. That's pretty good. Does this look kind of goofy? It can't be, it's not going to be perfect. They don't want, I don't think they want perfect. All right, so then these will go into okay, give that a little heat. And here's my next patch. This one I think could get it, make it a little nicer. Make it a little more curved. Okay, so there's that next patch will go on his neck. That's a little more curved there. Okay, I just finished the patch, making the patch for his neck. I used some glue to iron down and curve it around. So this is going to cover this tight thread. If I cut it, then it's all going to come undone. So I don't want to do that, but this will cover it up, keep it more protected. And then these kind of follow the contour of his neck. So I'm going to pin this down a bit so it doesn't move. There. That should be good. And what color should we use? Green, yellow, purple, green, or maybe yellow. We'll try the yellow, see if we have a mustardy color. Let's go. Let's see if we can find a closer one. Might not be able to. This one I think is gonna have to be it. Let's see, is there anything else we could try? This one. Actually, that one I think goes better. Long one for this one. Cut it a little bit. Okay, double threading. Tie my knot. This little accident here, I was hanging a mason bee house in my yard yesterday and using a hand drill, and my finger got caught in the cogs. It was not fun. So in this case, I think what I'm going to do this time, well, we'll go up through this way. Or maybe I'll go in like that. And then my knot is really hidden way underneath. Okay, I gotta make sure I'm in the frame. Yep. Maybe I'll be brave and zoom in a wee bit. come out somewhere else, cut my threads. There. Okay, that patch is done. Okay, this is still the big guy. Patch, patch. This needs a little patch. Maybe like a section here. Let's see, should we pick a different color sock? That's kind of a boring sock. Calvin Klein, do you want to be advertised? Probably not. I don't know if they like Calvin Klein, the owners of this. So we will not put Calvin Klein on there, but I think we will make a patch that goes, oh, there's a hole here. So we need to go like a patch that goes like that. So let me cut up, Calvin, you are not going to, this is too, maybe too, that might be a little too dark. Here's one. Might do the dark one, that one's winning so far. Yep, we're gonna do this dark one. Okay, now where did I put my pin? Oh, I know where I put it, here. This is gonna might need 2 things of thread because it's a long patch. We'll see. It's okay if we have to do 2. Oh, I wasn't recording all that time. Oops. So we just finished this patch. And now we'll move on to another one. Okay, I think I need to address this little bit here because this is coming undone. So I think what I'm going to do is tuck it in and kind of sew it up with pink thread. Oh, here's a good one. I'll use that. Sometimes your bobbin has leftovers from thread that's long gone, which is really handy. So we'll use that. And I love this, whatever this felt is that it was knitted onto. Like, I'm really curious. Oh, this is the same thing, but there's also knitting under here, so I really want to know how this thing was made. It's a blob. And then I'll pick up a little bit of that. See if we can just kind of like sew it shut. You don't want to get the edge, you want to get inside the edge because the edge is where it's frayed. So okay, that has a knot. We'll bury it. Let's see. Any other spots? Ooh, let's sew down this pink hair. Going underneath here. And, you know, I like to have a folded edge. So I think I'll fold it over. I'm doing an anchor stitch here. And keep going. And I'm going to do the same thing right across the top here. I think I'll just pull these little threads out because they are not doing anything, they're going out anyway. And do an anchor here. This maybe end up getting covered up with a red patch, but that's okay. Or maybe not. I think I'm going to do it. And I think we will fold this down like that. Yeah. And then go across the bottom of that hole. Okay, this. I think I'm going to pull these out too. And tuck it underneath. Oh, your little belly sewing. So tuck this under. And sew it down. That's probably what that was. Someone reknitted legs and used wool, felting wool. Yep. One more there. And we will tie that off, bury it. That's done. Let's see. Now, this yarn is coming apart, so it really needs to be kind of darned here a little bit. Maybe some moss got to it. But this looks better. No hole anymore. if I should anchor this. That feels pretty secure. Okay. Now for the red patch. I think it's red patch time. All right, let's see how we were gonna do this. It was gonna go like that. This had to go to there. This had to cover to here. But, oh yeah, I had to go all the way over to there to cover that. But, I'm thinking, oh maybe I pulled them further over. This had to go here. And that had to go there. That covered there, and that went all the way under his armpit, which I think, yeah. Okay. So, this is pretty accurate. So what I'm gonna do, so what I'm going to do for this patch, because this is the shape of the patch, kind of goofy looking, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chalk and I'm going to go all the way around the edge and mark exactly where my edge is. And that way I can take the clips out. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold under, I'm going to cut it with about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then glue this edges down, and then we should be good. Okay, so now we're going to see where to cut out our big piece, and we'll cut an extra 1/4 inch. Here it's already at a 1/4 inch. And just go all the way around by a 1/4 inch or so. All right. Now I'm going to be careful not to iron the logo because those logos can melt. Actually, I'm going to do the corners first, and then I'll come back and do a good job. These are different. Okay. So there. There. Okay, we're gonna give the edges a press. Not the emblem because we don't want it melting. Bingo. Okay, so this is patches ready. Ta-da! Okay, it's gonna go on. Okay, our patch is ready, and I'm gonna pin it down to make sure we're covering all the spots that need to be covered. We'll adjust it as necessary, but that's what we're gonna do now. We definitely have to cover that, so I think we'll go up along here. And we need to cover this. So maybe we'll pull this one further over. A lot of adjusting here. Uh-oh. Didn't realize that was happening. Okay. We're placing down our patch for Blabla. And making sure we're covering all the holes. Oop, we're gonna need to pull this up now, realizing just a bit. Because it's not quite reaching the neck. The next section. That's important. And then it needs to cover his armpit. I wonder if I should do like a tuck here, like that. Maybe. Which means I will have to, or I can pull this down more. We'll see. Let us see. Might tuck it in that way. If I did, I would have to go like that. Maybe I will do that. In which case, well, that's okay. I wonder if I could sew it down first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here And then I'm gonna come through the knot on the end, like that. Hopefully it'll stay hidden. And we'll go back, and we're just gonna go do a running stitch down this for a little bit. And then we'll just make it flat. I'm going to go through here and make a knot. Maybe another knot. Cut it. There. That is a little seam. So that's pretty good, I guess. Okay. So it follows the contours of his body a little better. I wonder if we need another. No. There. Okay, now we gotta get going. So we have a little left of this red thread. We'll make another knot and get started. So Blabla is done. Here's a patch, there's a patch. Here's a new patch. And then here's the fire patch that covers that big spot on his belly. And I reinforced a lot of areas, a lot of joints. Oh, right there. Sorry. So right there, I darned in there with the brown thread just because it was starting to come apart. And what I think these were, these red must have been wool that was felted when it got washed or wet, and then it all scrunched in. Because this green is cotton. This is an interesting, I'm not sure what it is, very soft. This is also very soft, but this is cotton and this is cotton. So they wash differently. Anyway, Blabla's ready for pickup. Let me know when you can come get him.